Sorry about that. So what'll happen is it'll happen on a consistent, on like not on a consistent basis like it used to, like 2 weeks prior on a consistent basis. It will happen the day of or the day before and maybe a day or two after, give or take. So my PMDD symptoms or my PMD symptoms, whatever, PMS symptoms are not what they used to be. Okay, so I'll still feel tired here and there. It's because my body's going through hormonal fluctuation, but it's not because I'm trying to heal from some major disease. But when people are trying to heal from a major disease and they're not giving their body what it needs, okay, that's when they see a consistent level of fatigue and see a consistent level of any kind of symptom that they have a complaint about. And so the J juice is going to force you to deal with those predispositions until you've earned the right not to deal with them anymore. So I've dealt with all of my issues. I've dealt with everything, rashes. Oh my God. If I ever feel bloated, I know that I'll just do the J juice. And if I have food in my system that I ate a week or so before or a couple days before or whatever, and it hasn't fully come out and I feel bloated, I'll do the J juice and clear the pipes. I don't do J juice all the time. I don't do waterfalls every day. But when I feel that there is a buildup of sludge in my colon, I did today, I drank a bunch of J juice, got a few waterfalls, and here I am. I'm doing great. Okay, so which means that at some point when you do heal and seal, when you finally do reverse all of your issues, you can go out of town, you can do whatever you got to do. You poop every day, or you try to poop every day, and you drink water and you eat your food, and you don't have to do any J juice until you come back home and clear the pipes and reset your body. Because J juice is basically a whole body reset. You'll be forced to deal with all of the issues you've ever had, PTSD, everything, and then it'll help you adapt to your current environment. So not only will you have to adapt to the environments from when you first were born, and then your body will then catch up to then deal with the environments all the way from 1975, that's when you were born, all the way up to 2020. That's the power of J juice, is adapting to all the different environments that you've been exposed to and then healing simultaneously. Okay? And so, that's the difference between the allopathic holistic, where they just take out stuff and they anesthetize you, and then you think because you don't feel anything that you're healed. Well, that's not the case. Okay, you never earned that healing. You never earned the feel good. I don't do J juice to feel good. I do J juice to recalibrate my body because I feel like sometimes I am backed up, but I do poop every day. But when you guys poop not on the J juice, you leave little bits behind, and then all of a sudden over time you see your belly getting bigger. That's why guys have bigger bellies as they get older, because that's all the poop, the residual poop that they never got out during their pooping sessions. Okay, and so the J juice will energize all of your cells, and then it cleans out every single one of your cells, and those also happen to be in your colon and your intestines, and then the body purges out the excess, absorbs what you need, and this is how you reset your body, mind, and spirit. And then you purge out all of the traumas. You have bigger dreams than just doing these little bits of things here and there. You have bigger goals for yourself. It's not just just little things. You're going to have bigger dreams and bigger things that you're going to want to accomplish. And that you're going to finally see the connection between everything. Right now, you're still doing your chemistry that's very, very subjective. And so you have a very, very small tunnel of reality. And so it's hard for you guys to see where I'm coming from because you're habit on the J juice, or you're not even on the J juice at all. So you're like, dude, what the hell is she talking about? But I'm telling you, once you get rid of all of that excess cobwebs and all this crap that's distorting the organization of your mind, you will then start seeing where I'm coming from. Your thoughts are going to be more organized. It's going to translate into whatever you're doing, whether it's writing, whether it's cooking, whether it's writing a paper for class, whether it's devising a marketing plan for a company or restructuring your organization to where you have the best output, the best bang for your buck. That's how you're able to know that you're working with the J juice correctly, is when you finally have bigger dreams, bigger goals, you're organizing your thought process, and you're not stuck in this tunnel of activism where it's just one little tunnel thing of oh, anti-vax, oh, anti-chemtrails, oh, anti-Democrat, oh, anti-Republican. And you finally are getting rid of all the boundaries of all that stuff. All that noise is gone. And you realize everybody has a voice. Everybody has, they're a factor in the whole. But now it's how you're going to balance out everybody in your world, because you can't obviously stay in a condensed version of this person's world, or you're going to be poisoned to death. So you learn how to set boundaries and take a little bit of people at a time. Some of you can hardly take me because I'm too much of a force for you. So you can only take me in small doses, no different than when you can only do a little bit of J juice because you can't handle that much healing. You can't handle that much truth or that much in your face of like, dude, I'm going to hold you accountable for all of your crap. So some of you can only handle a little bit of me. Some of you can only handle a little bit of J juice until you finally prime your body to be able to handle how everything is connected and handle the whole shebang of the healing process. It's not just, taking a poop every morning and that's it. There's more to the J juice and more to your body, mind, and spirit that you're willing to give yourself credit for. And some of you are really living very small, playing small, expecting small. And so that's what your goals are going to be. And that's what the outcome is going to be on J juice for you. It's going to be small, if that non-existent, because you're doing so little of it that it's not going to make a difference in the scheme of things. So, simply taking J juice for sleeping, okay, you're going to sleep a lot more when you're on the J juice because you got to have a lot more to heal, especially if you're in your 60s, 70s, and 80s. And when you're in your 60s, 70s, and 80s, and you want to stop being so sleepy, you'll be sleeping a lot more because your body has to repair a lot more. I can't tell you how long you'll be sleeping, what your sleeping patterns are going to be, but you're going to have a lot of years to heal. And so if you're in your 60s and 70s and 80s and you've been sleeping a lot and you do the J juice, well, you're going to have to deal with the body having to sleep at the times that you don't want to sleep. And you're going to have to allow it to happen. You can't fight it. Right now you're trying to fight it because you don't want to die. So you want to stay awake. You want to have the energy, but have you earned that energy? See, that's the thing with J juice, is you have to earn the right to have an amazing life, an amazing healthy life, an amazing outlook, an organized thought process, an organized way of translating your thoughts onto paper and then into your job or into whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's driving to cooking to engineering. You got to earn your way into that. You just can't get it like that. So if you're taking J juice because of a symptom, expect more of those symptoms to happen, because that's obviously what you need to work on. That's obviously what's going to be at the forefront when you do J juice. And then hopefully at some point you will be on a schedule where, you're going to be sleeping a lot more, but you'll go to bed earlier and you get up later or earlier. I don't know. I've had weird sleep patterns when I was on the J juice. I had the weirdest dreams when I was on the J juice. I don't have that many dreams anymore because I don't have too many triggers anymore. The triggers in your body, mind, and spirit come from an imbalance in your biochemistry. And that biochemistry swirls around in your body, right? And then when you're sleeping, all of those hormones and all of those fluids and everything else are all mixing together, and then it's coming out in your dreams. And then you have these weird dreams that are colorful and a bit, intentionally emotional. And then you're like, what the hell? And so when you finally, at some point, are not triggered like you used to be, you're not going to have as many crazy dreams. You might have dreams, but they're not going to be so colorful and so emotional. And then, you wake up refreshed and on purpose. You wake up intentional with purpose. You don't have any anxiety. Life is going to go all these different directions. People are going to say and do whatever they do. You're not going to get triggered. You have something, you have a goal that you're working for. Like, my goal is to get this second book that I have after this book comes out in June to get out sometime in the fall or winter or sometime early next year. So I continuously have goals, even though I just wrote this book that's coming out in June sometime this month, once Lulu gets her act together. Then I have another book that has even more of a macro level of understanding the J juice, to where when you finally do J juice and you read my next book after that, the one that's coming out, you read the following book after that, then you're going to get where I'm coming from, because you've given yourself that capacity. So there's probably a reason why the evolution of the J juice protocol is coming out first, and then from revolution to evolution to come out next, because most likely you do the J juice, you see where I'm coming from, you understand the role of salt and the role of sugar and the role of the diet, and why Jill juice is the way it is. You do it, you start opening up pathways of understanding. And so when my next book comes out, you'll be more open to seeing how I'm connecting the dots, how I'm connecting everything. And it's going to help with your evolution even faster. Because at least now I've given you the foundation. I've primed you for the next evolution. So there's no coincidence of why and how I've devised the books coming out, the Jilly Juice protocol, why it evolved from the pink salt to the white salt, to it used to be a diet to no diet at all, why it is that what you resist is going to persist until you've earned the right not to have experienced those symptoms. And then embrace the healing process and make time for it. Do what you got to do with work, and then make time for healing. Not everyone's going to do it around you. I understand that, and I get it. And I'm okay with the fact that not everybody around me is going to do J juice. So I just keep studying them, studying what not to do. Like everybody in my world that's not doing J juice, I am noticing what not to do. And then I'm using those people, not so much like in so many words as an example, but I use their experiences, their thought processes, without naming names, as an example of what you guys are going to be in for if you don't get a hold of your body, mind, and spirit and your health in a proper biochemical way. Not the allopathic holistic way, but where you actually face the demons. Not hide from them and not anesthetize them, but actually face the demons, whatever they are. And you all have your own demons. So yeah, I just did 2 cups after, a couple weeks of not doing J juice. So I'm feeling really like woohoo, on point. I am organizing right now. Like I've been trying to figure out my next book and organizing the thoughts. And I finally figured out how I'm going to write this. But yeah, I mean, it goes from the micro to the macro and the macro to the micro, and it goes back and forth, because you have to be able to understand the connections between the micro level, the cells, and then how everything builds upon the cells, to organs, to systems, to the body, and the body in a household, in a community, in a state, in a county, in a nation on earth, and how everything translates out. It's like, infinite concentric circles that just keep going out and out and out and out. And then from out goes in and in and in and out and out. And so it's like, and then you see, then it looks like it's like a balloon breathing in and out. It's a trip. If you actually were to, I don't know, animate what I'm talking about. So, so I'm trying to devise in my head, if I were to put my writing into one big picture, it would look like an hourglass. From the macro to the micro, which is that little tiny, tube. So you have the hourglass where it's like this is the macro, and the micro is right here, and then the macro, and then the micro is right there, and the macro, and that's really what my book is going to look like. It's going to talk about the micro first, okay, then, which is my life, then the macro, how it translates into the bigger picture, and then the micro again, because for you to understand how the micro works, you have to look at your own life. You are the micro. And then you see how you interact with the macro and how the macro interacts with you. And then you realize that, okay, you are influencing the macro, and the macro is made up of the micro. And then it goes macro to micro to macro to micro. And then there's so much evidence, and then all the context. Okay, I don't know, organizations, like the enterprise level versus the service level. I'm working on that. Enterprise level is an organization, and then the service level is all the vendors that make up the organization. Okay, micro, macro. Macro is the all-encompassing. The micro is what makes up all-encompassing. the collective versus the individual. Individual is the individual person and their needs and functions, and then the collective is how a whole system of production and distribution is under what kind of control, how it's being controlled. It's like the collective for the greater good versus the individual needs. Okay, and so there's a lot of words and context in different industries that explain the same thing, explain the micro, the macro, the enterprise level versus service level, the collective versus the individual. What else was I going to say? And then all the things that go along with evolution, adaptation, revolution, mutation. I mean, there's a lot of words, but I'm not using a bunch of words. There's a few words, maybe a dozen, that are going to be the main points of this next book that I'm doing. So that way you guys can see the relationships between everything. And so that way, when you look at an organization, when you look at a family, when you look at a person, you're able to see then the chaos and the organization. And then you can tell who is chaotic and who is organized. Obviously, if they're not doing J-Juice, they're pretty chaotic, but they might have a window of where they're not as chaotic as some. But for the most part, if people are not doing J-Juice, they are chaotic. Just some are not some are very, I don't know, devious about it. They don't let people know how chaotic they are because they're doing plastic surgery or they're wearing nice clothes. And then when you do J-Juice, you get very, very thirsty. And so I added some of the J-Juice pulp to this water. So it doesn't taste like totally like fresh water. It has the J-Juice pulp in it with a little bit of salt. So it's electrolytes. And then, and it's cold. And so that's what I drink. I'm going to lay off the soda for a bit because I think the soda, which I like, which is fine. And those of you that are underweight, drinking soda and doing J-Juice can't be half bad. And then, I'm going to work with controlling my different vanity pounds here and there. Because, yeah, I mean, I can go out there and run, but I don't need to run. Unless I'm being chased by a bear or something. But anyways, I'm off track. But anyways, do the J-Juice. If you take it for a specific symptom, you're going to experience those symptoms until you earn the right not to. And then, yeah, you just keep going from there. All right, bye.